So we're going to talk about motivation today. And you had some questions for me earlier today, and that's what I want to take a look at for you. So what I'm going to do here is share my screen. I've jotted down some of my thoughts on motivation that I'm going to share with you today. So once again, please do let me know where you're logging in from. I always like to hear from you and what you're up to, especially as we talk about motivation today. So the first thing that I want to talk about when it comes to motivation is what the factors are of motivation. How do we as writers get motivated? Well, the first factor to motivation is accountability. So you want to make sure that whatever writing class or program or group you're investigating, that accountability is part of that program, because it's really, really, really important. So some other factors that are important to having motivation in your writing is encouragement. We all know that writing can be a solo sport, as it were, and having that encouragement and support can be really powerful. So as you look at a program, you're going to want to make sure that there's encouragement. And you've heard me talk before about feedback horror stories. So you want to make sure that you're not reliving some of those feedback horror stories that you've experienced before, as far as it not being the right fit. What else? So another factor that's really, really, really important when it comes to motivation is getting some real help. And what does that mean? What does that look like? It means that whatever support you're getting is tying a really deep understanding of the craft of writing, the technique, the technical aspects of writing to your actual writing, right? So we've all seen classes, or maybe we've participated in them, or workshops, or what have you, where we're getting information, but that hasn't gotten you published. It hasn't gotten you to a point where you're finished, or you wouldn't be asking me about motivation. So what you need is real help, something that ties and applies the knowledge that you're learning, and that knowledge has to be solid. I mean, you really want to be with someone who knows the craft inside and out, ties that really deep knowledge over to your actual manuscript so that you can ask, how do I? And how does this idea about character arc apply to my actual manuscript? That's the kind of real help that's going to really motivate you and get you in a place where you need to be. And lastly, you want real feedback, right? Feedback horror story. We all have one. And, sometimes it can be just a negative experience. Somebody's a negative Nancy, or even worse, they give us feedback that has nothing to do with our writing, like maybe about our shirt, or worse, they're critical of the car we drive or something. But the other way that we can have feedback horror stories is that the people aren't knowledgeable enough about how craft works. And so we end up getting feedback that just doesn't make any sense, or is just really vague, or it conflicts. So that's really tough. So we want feedback that's grounded in an understanding of the craft, but that's also grounded in an understanding of how we learn and create. So there's bonus points there if the real feedback that you're getting is based on how your brain works, because that's really going to get you into optimal motivation, and motivation, of course, leads to creation. Creation leads to finished manuscript. Finished manuscript is the only way you can get to publication. It's the only way this works. All of the agents I know and talk to on a regular basis are not going to touch your manuscript with a 10-foot pole if it's not complete. So you need to have a completed manuscript if you want to get published, and you wouldn't be in a group called Write to Publish if you didn't want to publish. That's the point. So just to review the factors for motivation, you want to be in an environment where you've got accountability to motivate you, where you've got the encouragement that helps you get out of that solitary block. You want real help, and you want real feedback. So what happens when we're not properly motivated? Well, when we're not properly motivated, we end up in what we call writer's block, right? We don't know what to write. We don't know what to write next. We don't know where the story's going. All of those kinds of things happen when we're in a place that we call writer's block. We feel lost, right? We're not really sure what we should do next. We're not really sure. We're just not really sure. We're just lost. We're not motivated. Should I write today? I don't know. I could match the socks. We feel a sense of depression. I'm not talking about clinical depression, but we definitely feel depressed. We feel down. We're not excited about our writing. It's a negative experience for us. What else happens when we're not properly motivated? Well, we procrastinate, right? I said the socks, we're going to match the socks. We're going to look for the missing spoon. We're going to clean between the cushions of the couch. Whatever it is, we're going to procrastinate to do anything but that writing because we're not excited about it. And the real tragedy of what happens here as a consequence of all of these previous bullet points is that we don't finish a manuscript. And as I already mentioned, if you don't finish a manuscript, you don't publish a manuscript. That's just the way this activity goes. And that's a real tragedy, ultimately, because giving up and being discouraged, that's a terrible place to be, but it also means that you're never going to meet your publishing dream. So being properly motivated is really, really, really important to this whole process of getting the manuscript finished and eventually getting that manuscript published. So what happens if we are properly motivated? Well, when we're properly motivated, we finish a better manuscript faster, right? Because we're motivated. We're going to be motivated to do our best writing, and we're going to be motivated to sit down at that desk on a regular basis and bang out however many words or however many hours or however many scenes we have decided is important to us. We feel happier when we're properly motivated, right? We feel like we're supported. We feel like we're part of a community. We enjoy the writing and creating process. Also, we feel more confident. We've got some confidence in our skills. We know what it is that we do well. We feel like we can embrace who we are as a writer when we're motivated, when we're cheered on properly. We're also working in flow, and so many of you have talked to me about what it feels like to be in flow, when you're really in tune with your writing, when you're right there, when it's exciting and it's what you want to do. We can grow and learn both as a person and as a writer. And that's really exciting because personal growth is really what it's all about, right? And so when we can be in a spot where we're learning and growing and not only becoming a better writer, but also becoming a better person because we've got the support that we need, that's really, really powerful. Also, if you're properly motivated, you're giving yourself the best chance of seeing your name on a book. And that's really what we're here for, right? That's what this group is about. How can we publish books, see our name on a book, not just once, not just twice, but time and time again, to create a career, to create a life for ourselves that is writing. So do you want the kind of motivation that takes you from writer's block into flow, from feeling lost into feeling happy, from procrastination to excitement, from that feeling of wanting to give up because you're discouraged into confidence? So if that sounds like you and that's what you want, if you want to move from writer's block to flow, from feeling lost to feeling happy, from procrastination to excitement, from giving up, from feeling discouraged into a place of confidence, then you might be the right fit for the Writing Gym VIP membership. We take select writers and we help them towards completion of a manuscript in 8 weeks. So if that sounds good to you and that kind of motivation is what's really going to help you and you're ready for that kind of motivation that's really comprehensive, that's going to move you from a place of writer's block to flow, then I will throw a link in the comments of this video once I log off here, and I would be happy to chat with you, have an interview with you, talk to you about the writing gym and whether or not it's the right fit for where you are right now. So check out that link. It's at www.datewiththemuse.com/book-a-call. You can see it right there for you. So www.datewiththemuse.com/book-a-call. It's also in the comments section, and I look forward to talking with those of you who are ready for that kind of motivation. Happy writing.